Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine avatara varisthaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. The sannyasi's way of living, that paragraph is over. To sit with a woman or talk to her for a long time has been described as a kind of sexual intercourse. There are 8 kinds. To listen to a woman and enjoy her conversation is one kind. To speak about a woman is another kind. To whisper to her privately is third kind. To keep something belonging to a woman and enjoy it is the fourth kind. To touch her is the fifth. Therefore, a sannyasi should not salute his guru's young wife, touching her feet. These are the rules for sannyasins. Very clearly, Sri Ramakrishna. See the depths of thinking of our ancient sages. Even to look at a woman. That's why in Hinduism, the vision, the change of attitude, the purification of mind to see divine everywhere and salute a woman wherever he sees was made compulsory for all men, and to respect men as Narayana, the all-pervading consciousness. Narayana is the sum total, same the concept of Kali. The Kali represents the static aspect and dynamic aspect of existence. That is, the Brahman, the Para, and the universe, Apara, both are together brought into picture. Same picture is brought in Vaishnavism as Narayana. Narayana is personal and impersonal aspect of God together. Just like Kali represents, Kali is standing on the white stone, Shiva lying down. So this combination of dynamic aspect and static aspect of existence, not universe, existence, the whole existence, unchanging eternal reality in which constantly changing universes appear. So these two together is Kali's picture, Kali standing on the black stone of Kali standing on the white stone of Shiva, lying Shiva. Now the same thing is brought into Vaishnavism in the terms of Narayana. Narayana is personal and impersonal aspect brought together, the static and dynamic brought into together. So this aspect, a woman is supposed to see the all that Narayana, which is there, which is beyond, and which is pervading this universe together. A woman is supposed to see Narayana in all. Even when a sannyasi goes for bhiksha to a householder's house, he says Narayana Hari, Narayana Hari. At least our tradition, Narayana Hari. That is, I am remembering the whole existence. And Hari is who removes all what is unwanted in our existence, bodily existence, individual, at Jivatma level. So this whole picture. Now, when we start seeing divine in everyone, divine in now equanimity, this removes the differences, divine, spiritual, and love. love of God. Anuraga. These three are places where all differences dissolve, including man and woman. So, a student, when he goes to school, in the early days, Vedic period, he will be living for 25 years almost with his guru. Every bit, how to stand, how to sit, how to talk, how to move, how to have your vision of this world, how to look at every object with respect, love, and divinity, penetrating eyes to see the reality, will be taught to the student who is supposed to teach his life companion if he were to marry or to continue seeing the divine everywhere if he takes to the sannyasa. So the whole thing is attitude that we cultivate, because the world, especially the modern times, is modern avatara, incarnation of present time. So present times have changed drastically. The whole thing is materialism, materialistic attitude, looking at everything as matter. Matter and the objects of enjoyment, utility. Whatever they see, can I utilize this? Formerly, a few centuries or more than that, millenniums of thousands of years, just 2,000-3,000 years before also, the view was different. Anything we see, a tree, plant, an animal, how can I serve? How can I serve? Was the intention. Human mind seeing, how can I serve? Now, how can I utilize? If a person sees a tree, how can you utilize? This is a plant, how can I? This is an animal, how can you utilize it? Can I kill and eat? Can I take its skin? What yields me more? The attitude has changed. He looks upon the life as matter. And objects of enjoyment is very conscious. I want that, I want it, I want this enjoyment. Pure materialism. He has become himself matter that doesn't want to change, and he sees every. So Ramakrishna goes to the root level of describing, but there is another aspect of this to see the divine. Now, in Buddhism, there was a story. It is not a story. 100 incidents that happened in the Buddhism, which gives them the moral and spiritual strength. Beautiful 100 stories are there. We had in our training center that book. In that, one of the thing is, one bhikkhu comes into picture. A bhikkhu means a sannyasin of the Bauddha dharma, Bauddha religion. After his initiation, when they join as a permanent sannyasi, monk, Buddhist monk, he is supposed to do 5,000 Sashtang pranams to God. He is Buddha. Each time uttering their mantra, he will step on the wooden plank. The wooden plank is extremely smooth. In the image of Buddha in the front, they slide down and bow down, again sit. If they can stand, they will stand, again sit, again bow down, uttering the mantra. Like that, whole day in 24 hours, they are supposed to do 5,000. They begin with 1,000 a day and reach that. It takes years of their efforts to reach that state. And then he is Now he is supposed to practice all these days, about 2-3 years of his life in a monastery. He'll be, yes, you are ready now to go and live in the world independently. Now you make up your life. Practice what has been told and attain mastery, attain the state of nirvana, and then teach the mankind. You are free now. With that assurance, they will live. Now, a Buddhist monk came around. He was moving about from door to door for his alms. He has come to a village, where in that village a sadhika is there, a elderly woman who has dedicated her life from the beginning to the practice of spiritual disciplines. Seeing the sadhu, she is very happy. Yes, this is life. He has taught it. He has left home, hearth, everything. And he is practicing the spiritual disciplines. And imagine the joy with which she wants that person to, but she knows he is a monk. And then I should not interfere or disturb his life. And she requests a few villagers to help him to build the village had a small mound. And then he can climb that mound, walk and live there. So she would bear all the expenses of the sadhu silently, without his knowledge. Without my coming into picture, she takes a few people in confidence to build a small kutia for him. Instead of going begging door to door, let him do the sadhana, spiritual practices here, and I will take care of him, his own needs. So she makes arrangement for building a small hut for him to protect from the weather conditions. He'll be there, living in that spiritual atmosphere of the village, beautiful atmosphere, and in that he is growing. Now years pass, and a person is appointed to go give the food thrice a day, morning, afternoon, evening. And he never wanted any woman to come in picture. So they avoid all women going there, but men are taking care. By turns, they are going and serving him. Whatever he needs is provided. He is supposed to call on God and do the spiritual practices to transcend the bodily existence and know the self. So the body is the one thing which is identification with body happens only in waking state. In that waking state, his body, and body has its own demands, needs of body, food and all that. And the most important thing is desire for flesh, that is enjoyments, physical enjoyments, and all other comforts of the body, this, that, tastes, food tastes, all become there. And the sadhu is very particular to spiritually be awakened. Spiritual awakening, the bodily identity goes off. Now he is not physically awakened. So he is physically awakened. Spiritually is not awakened. Physically awakened, not spiritually. So he has to do the sadhana. Again and again, call on the divine. again and again identify with the inner divinity, dissociating himself from the bodily existence. Just like in Advaita we say, Mano Buddhyankara Chittani Nam, Shivom Shivom Shivoham. I am not this body, mind, senses and all that. I am not body. I am living in this body. But living in this makes me get identified. I have to de-identify, separate the spirit from the material bodily existence and identify with that. So body is, he has to dissociate. Usually it takes 3 to 5 years for a totally secluded sadhu to get rid of the body consciousness, body identity, and gain the spiritual identity. The spiritual identity is lost with the birth that he has born on this earth as body, so he remains as body. The spirit is hidden behind the bodily existence. So she makes all the arrangements. Years pass. She is watching, she is becoming old. She is so happy. At least in my life, I could serve a sadhu who is going to attain nirvana and spread the light of Buddha to others. And then now years pass. 12 years pass. 12 years is the period. Every 12 years, we undergo a transformation in the bodily, the psychic or mentally, we undergo transformations. First 12 years, Balya, then growing to youth, then prime of youth, third 12 years, that is 24 to 36, 36 to 48 is when the seed of the old age grows, and 48 to 60, external signs of old age complete, 60 to 72, this downflow begins. The sun is going to set slowly. It has crossed the zenith and going beyond, it has begun to go beyond. And setting lower is crossed zenith at 50, and at 60 he is losing the tejas and downward. Now this another 12 years, the whole, if you begin sincerely a spiritual aspirant, 12 years of sadhana is quite sufficient to get enlightenment. If he totally dedicates exclusively for spiritual life, he is supposed to become Buddha. She'll be watching. The people who are taking this one, they come and tell, we don't find any signs of nirvana. We don't find any senses of feeling. We doesn't see that is evolving. It's for like sun raising up. We are not seeing of 12 years, 13 years, 14 years, 15 years, 16 years. She'll be getting day-to-day updates. How is he? How is he? Is he enlightened? Is he enlightened? People doesn't feel. Now, 20 years pass. 20 years pass. Then she wants to take a direct examination of him. Has he crossed the body identity? I am a man. I am a woman. That identity, gender problem. If he has crossed at least that, my all efforts are worthy. So one day, how does he look at woman? When he looks at a woman as divine and pure attitude, worshipful attitude, then he is ready for getting enlightenment. Within a year or two, he'll be 20 years has passed, it will be sufficient. He must have already attained. So one day she sends a woman, young beautiful woman, with food, noon food. And she goes with all humility, taking the food, slowly climbing up the mound. And he sees from the top, immediately starts shouting as she's climbing. When she goes about 400, 500 yards away, he starts throwing stone and all. Women should not come here, this, that and all. She leaves the food there and comes running down. Goes to the woman who has sent, tells what has happened. He started throwing stone at me, and how does a woman come here? Then she says, oh, he has not attained anything. Even to respect a woman, he has not got the strength. He is worse than an animal. Go and pull down his hut and drive him away. And that's what the people immediately go and do. See, all opportunities given and all that is needed to transcend the bodily identity is also placed within us. And time is also given. Now you see, you should have 3 to 5 years sincere struggle is enough to get rid of the sex idea, the gender differences, to see the divine within oneself and to see divine in everything and dissolve all the differences. And this is what is expected of us as a sannyasi. We all must remember that ideal, which just it begins with looking after every woman as mother and ends with actual presentation of the Divine Mother of the universe in actual form, in the form of a woman. Every woman is Chit Shakti. All the matter, penetrate anything, anywhere and see, it is spirit. So, therefore, sannyasi should not salute his guru's young wife touching her feet. These are the rules for sannyasis. So, the one thing is, he has to transcend. One day he must be able to see the divine in everyone, not only woman. The difference between woman and man dissolves. And because he himself is no more man or woman. He has transcended his bodily identity. He has seen his inner light and he sees the same light in all others. This is the ideal that he has to reach. On this, Sri Ramakrishna says, when the plant is young, you have to do the fencing. Afterwards, when it becomes tree, you can tie an elephant also, nothing happens. But the case is quite different with the householders. After the birth of 1 or 2 children, the husband and wife should live as brother and sister. The other 7 kinds of sexual intercourse do not injure them to live together and all, because his view has changed and he is passing through and crossing or transcending. In Bhakti Yoga, you pass through the enjoyments and go beyond. Accept, live, transcend and go. In Sannyasa path, renounce and transcend. Here, accept and transcend. They are neti neti. The denial of the body, denial of the world, denial of everything that is a part of duality is the rejection and then going. Here, acceptance and transcendence. So he's accepting to pass through. A householder has various debts. Debts to God, gods, to the fathers, and to the rishis. He also owes debt to his wife. He should make her the mother of one or two children and support her if she is chaste woman. Beautiful, you see. It is the woman has to attain motherhood either because of children or looking after others as her own children. The motherhood has to be awakened somehow. For most of the women to imagine or to look upon all as her children and awaken the spiritual consciousness of motherhood and love all and serve all, giving is not possible. In such cases, the transcendence becomes a little difficult. And they have to pass through, when they get actual child, little motherhood is awakened. To look upon, to be able to look upon her own children as mother. So far, so good. As the time crosses, when the age is advancing, they will start a little more awakening of the motherhood. But this consciously, later on, they have to awaken the motherhood fully. Where there is mother, there is no woman. Where there is woman, there is no mother. So, womanhood is replaced only by motherhood. It cannot be destroyed. So, womanhood cannot be destroyed. It has to be transcended. By replacing womanhood by motherhood. Here, the husband helps her to awaken the motherhood, and last he sees the Divine Mother in his own wife. If he, just for the sake of making his wife a mother and to have a child of his own, where he attains absolute purity, to see the Divine Mother in his own wife and worship her before his body falls off. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.